is it permissible for a male to have a female friend without marriage for mental support? So let's take this one step at a time, starting from the back. If you need someone for mental support, if this is, you need somebody to be a therapist, my recommendation would then be to get a therapist, if this is a serious consideration. Sometimes we may find that our conversations with a woman would be of a different nature to our conversation with a man, and that's understandable. That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us lawful relationships wherein we can have those conversations. First of all would of course be marriage. So if you're not married, then try to find a suitable spouse bi'idhnillahi ta'ala, and you may have such a relationship, and that would sort out your issues. If it is that you are married and you don't have this type of relationship with your spouse, perhaps you can confide in your mother, in your sister, or another relative wherein you wouldn't have any shar'i problems. As far as can a male and a female be friends in the modern Western conventional ideal of what a friendship is, where you would go out together, have fun with one another, have dinners with each other, etc. But it's platonic in the sense that you don't actually ever, lead the relationship into anything sexual. That in Islam is still problematic. Because, number one, you have the problem of khalwa, which is haram, for a male and a female to be alone. And then number two, if you have a type of friendship where it is a group of friends and there's males and females, the type of interaction that friends in a Western context usually have is still unlawful for Muslims. So even there, having a close friendship between non-maharim males and females would not be permissible in Islam. There may be permissible situations, but as a whole, you're going to find that it is not permissible because of the inevitable type of interaction that a friendship consists of. Even if it is the type of interaction that happens exclusively online or, via social media, that does not take away the danger of having that type of relationship that Islam seeks to prevent. Remember, the Quran doesn't inform us to not commit zina. It says, وَلَا تَقْرَبُوا الزِّنَا, do not even go close to zina. And there are strict rulings in relation to male-female interaction. We have many articles and we have many questions and so forth that have been answered on our answer service. You can read the details therein. What I would advise, however, is we also need to be wise and balanced in this approach. This is not saying that it is unlawful for men to ever speak to women, or it is unlawful for women to ever speak to men, or that there are no circumstances in which men and women can work together, learn together, etc., because they're going to be haram. That's not the same thing. What we are speaking about is a friendship, a close relationship where people become intimately close with one another. Not intimate in the physical sense, but in the emotional and spiritual and psychological sense. They have a close relationship. That there is problematic between a male and a female who are not mahram. But regular type of interaction, whether that be through work or through learning and the like, there are undoubtedly situations in which you would need, especially if you're living in a Western society, you would need to interact. And under those circumstances, it is permissible to interact as long as the laws of Islam are observed. That there's no khalwa, that there's no explicit or illicit type of discussions that take place, that you do not gaze at each other with lust or with desire, that one's awrah is protected and covered. You have to take all the necessary means to protect your iman. And protecting your iman under those circumstances means to protect your chastity, your haya, your modesty. And this is not to be, difficult and to make life impossible for Muslims, as many people think. This is in fact to protect us in a way that sometimes we may understand and often we will not understand. But the wisdom of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala supersedes our understanding regardless of whether we have one or not. So my advice in this regard is, once again, if you need the type of mental support or emotional support, seek a therapist or have a relationship that is considered lawful. If it is beyond that and you just need the company of a woman or the company of a person from the opposite sex, then either confide in your maharim or find a lawful spouse, and you may have as many conversations and as many type of frameworks of emotional support as you so desire, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows best.
لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله.